Well, conditions here still very wet, as you can see, and in the gloom of mid-afternoon here at Donington Park, the first of two Molson Group sidecar races. We have a clash with Octane in a World Championship round in Germany this weekend. So we had a diluted grid, but we've allowed in some F2s as wild cards. So 4 or 5 non-regulars are in the bunch, and one of those, Lee Crawford, you'll be looking for him on the 117 outfit. He's riding a new long outfit for the first time, and trust me, he is quick. Everybody on the big wet Avons. Avons are piloting a new wet radial rear here, but Ben Birchall tells me that they haven't brought enough for the entire contingent, so he might just have missed out, and that will make it interesting, because Birchall's apparently have not had access to the new wet tyre. Alongside me, Brian Nixon, a former international Grand Prix sidecar passenger, vastly experienced in the world of sidecars a few years ago, it's true. But Brian, these conditions, less important on a sidecar than two wheels?
Well, yeah, the problem with the sidecars, I mean, although they've got more rubber and clearly they don't lean over, because the tyres are so wide, they tend to float on standing water. So a lot of rain is equally difficult for a sidecar, but in a different way.
And there is a fair amount of standing water out there, you know, you can see the puddles. So we're really talking aquaplane, are we?
Yeah, for sure. They float. They literally float. Narrower tyres, ironically, will probably be more suitable.
Well, it's going to be interesting. We had a big crash yesterday in qualifying, which is a great shame. Ben Holland and Tom Christie rolled their outfit, and Tom Christie suffered a broken arm. So Ben Holland, oh dear me, and there, that's Simon Robb. No, it isn't, that's Craig Curry. That's Birchall, that's Ben and Tom Birchall. That's Ben and Tom Birchall spinning out on the grass. Looks like they have suffered some terminal damage here. Crawford and Hardy, 117, they're into pit lane. So on the first of 2 warm-up laps, we've got real drama here. Are they saying there was contact? Let's have a look as they come down. They went across. Ben Birchall had nowhere to go, clipped Crawford and Hardy. They spun out, and that was really, they just couldn't get it pulled up. But
I think the bike's undamaged. It's the wheel arch has an R-clip that fits in the front. It's obviously torn it out of its mounting point, I should imagine. Therefore, the wing's loose.
Oh, Ben and Tom Birchall, they could have lifted the championship. Such has been their domination this year. But that's a problem. That looks as though the wheel arch is damaged. It might have done some more damage in there. The radiator sits in there too. Birchall's ran into the back of Lee Crawford as he moved wide to take the wide line into the S's. So they were closing down to go round him, and they actually ran into the back of him. And when you think this was on the warm-up lap, you can see the short outfits there. There's one in the red and green lining up at the back. Brian Ilaria is there. Conrad Harrison, father of Dean and TT winner. There is Brian Ilaria's outfit, the red, green, number 8 at the back of your picture. Man from Derby, riding under Powerhouse colours. So, a diminished grid then. Holden on the right, Blackstock on pole position now because there are no Birchall brothers. An absolute catastrophe for them. And away they go, lights out. And it's a great start by John Holden, but Blackstock is always quick out of the track, and he's down towards Redgate. So, Lewis Blackstock, Paddy Rosny, John Holden, Jason Pitt. Then it's Craig Curry and Justin Sharp into 3rd. Simon Robinson in 4th, the number 19 outfit. Everybody's swapping around, so we've got points going down to 5th. Everybody will score. When we get to Brands Hatch, we've got double points in both races, so this has really set the championship alive. Cracking start there, Brian. Absolutely fantastic, yeah.
As you can see, all the passengers are not passengering the left-hand through Craner, just to keep a bit more weight on the rear tire, just to get a bit more drive out the corners. But like I say, some of the short bikes sometimes have a bit of an advantage over the long bikes in these conditions because they have narrower tyres. So it could be a mixed bag today.
4th place, Phil Bell. and Jamie Connell, who will just have seen his son Declan crash out in the Junior Supersport race. There is Phil Bell, the number 18. Behind him, Andy Peach and Ken Edwards. Then behind Andy Peach, when I can see they emerge out of the gloom, it is Simon Robinson. Then that looks like Pete Founds on the 172 outfit. Yeah, Peter Founds, a late entry, but he and Jevon Walmsley out of Northwich in Cheshire. Pete Founds, such a regular fast man on the short LCR Yamaha powered. Craig Curry then ahead of John Holden, double Isle of Man TT winner. So we've got Craig Curry in second place here. Yes, he's holding second place. This is really good stuff for Craig Curry, a man who races in the Ducati Tri-Options Cup, a former Renault Clio Cup champion. So just to take Brian's point, you can see they're not over passengering, are they?
No, for sure. I mean, they're not enough corner speed to have the wheel lifting too high, but it's more important to get the passengers' weight over the rear to get some drive out the corner. So it's a bit of a sensitive job in this sort of conditions.
Just underlines the importance of the passenger. You know, it is about grip. It is about, you can almost call him a co-driver because his position is critical, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you slide up the front of the bike, you can make the rear light up, and vice versa. And if you put your foot on the corner of the sidecar platform, you can actually push the front on even more. So, yeah, although the drive is the most important part, the passengers play quite an important part in certain circumstances.
Pete Founds, 172, he and Jevon Walmsley getting the short chassis LCR past Phil Bellen and Jamie Connell. And that is then up to 5th place for Pete Founds. His brother Alan was entered but scratched 2 days ago for reasons best known to himself. So we do have this clash with Germany, and we are running a reduced grid, reduced by 2 more, with the incident on the first lap involving the Birchells and Lee Crawford. Such a pity. 2 of the luminaries, if you like, of this race, who were going to certainly give it their best shot, qualified in the top 4, both of them with the Birchells on pole position. So now we've got John Holden with Andy Peach looking good. Andy Peach is good in the wet. He's 4th in this, and how good would it be to see the veterans Peach and Edwards on the podium?
Oh, for sure, fantastic. They've had such a bad year. I mean, every time I've been around to their tent, they've had engine problems and all sorts of stuff. But obviously now he's got it all together, and as has been pointed out, he's a very good wet weather rider with a huge amount of experience.
Both as a passenger and a driver. Passenger Roger Body, who is the promoter and organiser of this championship. Here comes Peachy on the Life Safety Yamaha. Looking on the inside of John Holden, he senses there's an opportunity here, and he goes through. Andy Peach then through on the inside, up to 3rd place. Has he gone too wide? Oh, the passengers foot track. Ken Edwards had his foot out, the wheel was in the air, but Peachy got the drive as a result of that. That's
for sure, and it's like warming up to a really good ding-dong here for the 2nd place. Just hope they can continue, but they're not having a run of bad luck they've had up to now, so it's looking good at the moment.
On lap 3 of 8, a reduced race distance, Stuart Higgs, our race director, had a chat basically with the teams down there on the line, more or less to assess whether they indeed wanted to go, and of course they want to go. Everybody wants to go racing. Now this is good. Holden on the back of Peach. Peach having a ride of his life here, and a big twitch from John Holden on the Barnes Racing SBR, that's Silicon Engineering as well, involved in that outfit. John Holden, double TT winner. His son George here this weekend, but not riding, again for reasons best known to himself. But Andy Peach twitching, looking good here. Fantastic in the wet, Andy Peach. He and Ken Edwards then in a 3rd place position. There was also a Bemsey meeting on. I tell you what, Craig Curry is not a million miles ahead of Peachy, so he could feasibly close Craig Curry down. That's the battle then. 2nd place at the front of this, then it's 3rd, the number 4, then it's 4th for the number 2, and this battle is alive. Out front though, 3.2 seconds, Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosney. By virtue of their own success, they're not getting much coverage.
No, for sure. That's the downside of being so fast. You don't get any television or much talking about. But I think if these 2 guys can just stop tripping each other up, they're going to catch up the 2nd place crew, and maybe we could have a 3-way split for it.
That would be good. I mean, Craig Currie, if he's on his way to a podium here, this is amazing. There, Ben and Tom Birchall, spectators, disgruntled, should be written on the back of the helmets. They would be really disgruntled. I mean, it was only the warm-up lap, but for some reason, there was a coming together. And they were lucky, in actual fact, although they got it onto the grass, they were lucky it didn't go further on into the wall. Peach in third. Holden in fourth, number 2. There's Simon Robinson in 7th place at the moment. There, Brian Gray with Sarah Stoko, lady passenger, helping him out for the day. Brian Gray, having formerly retired, came out of retirement for this one, A, because he loves Donington, and B, because he thought he might be able to do something with some points. But ahead of him, and here we are back at the front. Holden going on the inside of Peach. Peach cutting back, then Holden going wide. We've got a fight on our hands here. That's what we like to see. And it's looking good here. Look at Peach. Peach and Holden. And now Pete Founds. Pete Founds is with them. So we do have, and they're closing on Craig Currie as well. This is the battle here. Down they go. Holden through on the inside, but Peach cutting back. Yeah, just beautiful. On the inside, back then, on the way up to Starkey's. Holden and Peach, neck and neck. What a great scrap. And Pete Founds just sitting there looking because he thinks that these two might have a bit of a coming together. You never know. The gap at the front, 4.5 seconds. And then a further 2 seconds back. And you can see they are now catching Craig Currie, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, again, with the short bike, also in 5th place, you can see that he's making inroads with the narrower tyres, and the bike being shorter is much more manageable on some of the corners. The long bikes sometimes get a bit unstable. And in F2 they're allowed to have a tuned engine, whereas we run stock engines in the long bikes in the Molson Group Championship proper. So Pete Founds might well have a tuned engine. Let's have a look. Just see what the gap is. Yes, they are. They're all closing. Craig Currie then being wound in now. That gap is now under 2 seconds. Andy Peach can see Craig Currie. We're on lap 5 of 8. So still a good distance to go in this race. Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosney have the length of Craner Curves down to the old hairpin. There you can see Craig Currie. Here comes Andy Peach, Ken Edwards, John Holden, Jason Pitt. So it's all Yamaha power at the moment. And Pete Founds 172 in 5th place ahead of Bell and Connell. Brian Gray with Simon Robinson. Simon Robinson having moved up from an F2 short outfit as well, having his first season with a very experienced passenger, Mick Fairhurst. And then behind them, it's Conrad Harrison, TT winner, the number 3 on another short bike. And the number 17, Craig Clark and Pete Enstell in the battle. Here goes Simon Robinson alongside Brian Gray. Great battles, Brian, aren't they? All the way through, but he's going to make it this time, isn't he? Going to make it stick. He will do. Brian Gray's a hard man. He's been at this for 50 years. I don't think he's missed a season until he supposedly retired this year, and he can't keep a good man down, and he's still at it now.
And holding his own, definitely. This is the battle, and there's Craig Currie. So John Holden, Andy Peach, Ken Edwards, and then Pete Founds. So we've got 4 of them all together for this 2nd place battle. And we are still on lap 5 of 8. So what looked like being an absolute fiasco at the start is turning out to be, Brian, a cracking race with lots of action, and that's what we want to see.
Absolutely. As I said, when the Birchells unfortunately went out, it gives some of the other guys that we've not heard of and a much better chance. And also with the weather conditions being what they are, it just brings all sorts of different things. If these guys don't continue to trip each other out, I think there's going to be a battle for 2nd for sure.
Well, Holden had his nose in front, but Andy Peach outbraked him going into the foggy S's, and Ken Edwards doing a great job. It's not nearly so hard on the passenger. Here comes John Holden. Holden through again, was getting a little bit frustrated. Andy Peach won't want that. He doesn't want to get dropped away. He's got to stay in touch, the number 4 outfit. But John Holden senses that once he's passed, if he can get on the back of Craig Currie, there's a passing opportunity. Lap 6 of 8, then still 2.5. Here we are, John Holden coming through, a bit of a rub on Ken's arm, but Ken, he's got a handhold down there on the right-hand side. Ken Edwards just keeping his fist clenched firmly in there. Andy Peach, oh, here comes Pete Founds. Pete Founds sliding that in sideways, that short outfit, and you can do that, can't you, with them?
Yeah, for sure, because they have that pendulum problem because they're a much shorter vehicle. And as I say, with the narrow tyres, they surprisingly cut through the water better. So, you know, I wouldn't count him out for a podium position at this point.
Conrad Harrison there. Conrad Harrison on his very, very quick engine. I said, is that TT spec? He said, yeah, it is. And just like his son, he talks really 19 to the dozen. Quick talking, quick riding. He's on the outside of Brian Gray, so you're looking at two veterans here locking horns. The short outfit on the inside of Brian Gray, but Brian Gray with Sarah Stoko, who rides with Rob Fisher, multiple TT winner in classic outfits. So she's a vastly experienced young lady as well. So Conrad Harrison, the number 3, with Mark Middleton doing the honours on his third wheel. Tucked down, the passengers just tucked down. They know when to pop up by engine note. Conrad Harrison having a look in the inside. Brian Gray moves over and through he goes, takes the place. So Harrison moves up into 7th place now, the number 3 outfit. Brian had 7 on the bike, was 7th in the race, not anymore. He's 7 on the bike and 8th in the race. Here comes Craig Clark, number 7, Simon Robinson. What a great business. And Andy Peach here. Andy Peach out onto the curb. Phil Bell is now closing in. So is Phil Bell on a march, or is Andy Peach now dropping backwards here? Obviously, he got it wrong there and he's slipped back somewhere. On the penultimate lap then. Is John Holden going to catch Craig Curry? There, he's on the back of him. John Holden will want to catch Craig Curry, that's for sure. 2nd place, he needs the points. Holden is 3rd in the championship at the moment, and he's not that far behind Lewis Blackstock, who will collect a 25 if things stay the way they are. Holden then with Craig Curry, vastly experienced John Holden. A raw novice in terms of sidecar racing, Craig Curry, but hasn't he done well, Brian? First season, running 2nd.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, that's what the sport needs, is some young guys, some new names, just to keep it all going. I mean, there's a lot of guys here that wouldn't normally be here without the world round. And again, it just shows you there's a lot of wealth of talent and to produce good racing.
Justin Sharp looking anxiously over the shoulder as John Holden lines him up and tries to get him at the foggy S's. Through they go. Holden's got the place then. Can he get it stopped as he comes over the top down into the Melbourne hairpin? Holden in front, yeah, he's got that under control. That was a classic move, and here comes Pete Founds as well. Pete Founds having a look, so Craig Curry will desperately want to stay on the podium. When they come round next time, they will be on the final lap, and Blackstock and Rosney will almost be at that point now, if not already. And here we are, Curry and Holden. Curry fighting back, and he's alongside, he's not giving up. That's incredible stuff. Craig Curry saying, oh, I don't care who you are, I don't care about your reputation. Oh no, Phil Bell, Jimmy Connell out of it. And they were fighting for 5th place. So that's the threat to Andy Peach has gone away. Craig Curry has held on to 2nd place against John Holden. And Brian, well, I'm amazed. On the final lap here, what a job they've done.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. I mean, all credit to him. I'm just watching Founsey at the moment. He's looking like he's ready to pick up the pieces, because these guys are definitely chipping away at each other in the big style.
John Holden, Jason Pitt, young Jason Pitt, having ridden in the past briefly with Kershaw, but then slotted in with John Holden, and they get on so well. Jason Pitt, a good man to have in the awning. He's on with the telemetry, does the wheels, he works as hard on the bike as anybody, and John said he's an absolute delight. He said, in fact, one of the best passengers I've ever had. So that's the ultimate compliment to Jason Pitt. Craig Curry with Justin Sharp, who is also vastly experienced, been around, done it, worn several t-shirts, and is doing a great job for Craig Curry, underlining yet again the importance of a good passenger.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time in this situation, all sorts of stuff can happen. And you can see how hard he's riding. You see the rev limiter light flashing on his visor, because obviously the light's gone down, but they're definitely not going any slower than you'd expect.
Well, that's brilliant. Well spotted. Well spotted. Over the top they go, down towards the Melbourne Loop. John Holden's going to have one last go here to outbreak him into the hairpin, which he does. He takes the place, but Craig Curry is going to get it round and get the power down. It's going to be a sprint up the hill, over the line. Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosney on the fantastically prepared DHR Express Tyre Services red bike. But look at this battle. Andy Peach has come back to play as well. So whatever he did, over the line goes Curry. Curry then is going to grab it. He's going to take second place. Justin Sharp, absolutely ecstatic with that. Fantastic. On the podium, Craig Curry, good boy, upholding Birchall Racing honours. And Phil Bell and Jimmy Connell, they're going to come over in 6th place. And that was an 8-lap race. Huge thanks to Brian Nixon. Cheers, mate. That was well done. I doubt if you'll want to get involved tomorrow. We're at the end of the day. You'll be on your way home. But
Maybe, but my pleasure. Thanks very much for having me.
Brilliant. Look at Simon Robinson, 19. On the inside of Lewis Nicol, a new young man, the 88. His father, Craig Nicol, used to ride under those colours. So that is a good result. Top 10 for Lewis Nicol. Or is Robinson going to claim that place? That youngster has done really well. Former Super Twin race winner in Scotland, and does he gets 10th. He's credited with 10th place. That is well done. Here we go, all over the line. Everybody gets a point. Brian Gray and Brian Ilaria, Italian parentage race winners, Blackstock and Rosney. Wonderful stuff. Fastest lap, but for these boys, 1:57, well, the conditions tell the story, don't they? No way was there going to be a fast lap time in that, but in the appalling conditions, fair credit where credit's due. Confirmation then of Lewis Blackstock's victory. 14 seconds it was, by nearly 15, over Craig Curry and Justin Sharp. Holden, Founds and Peach, what a scrap they had. Look, all split by about 3 seconds. That 4 could have been any one of them. Bell, Harrison, brilliant for Conrad Harrison, Clark Robinson and Lewis Nicol. Well done, young man. Top 10, you'll be thrilled with that. Archer Hyde Gray, Ilaria and Birchall's and Crawford didn't make it. You saw the incident on the warm-up lap, both of them sidelined.